Many people believe that it is just the central laws, the three central laws that has agitated the farming community, and that is why they are at the doorsteps of New Delhi. But the way I look at it, actually the compound anger that has been built over the decades, and that is actually finding a vent now, and that anger is coming out in the form of course, protest to the central laws. But let's not forget that in the last 3-4 decades, agriculture has faced grave injustice and also inequality, and they have been deprived of their dues or deprived of their rightful income all these decades. Now, just to illustrate, I remember a United Nations study by Untitled, and it had said that between mid 1980s and mid 2000, 20-year period, they had worked out that the output price or the farm gate price of agriculture or in agriculture has remained static or frozen across the globe. Now, I think we must understand that that means that let's say in the middle of 2000, what the farmers were getting was almost the same if you adjust for inflation, or as to what they were getting in mid 1980s. So I think this should tell us that for 20 years, globally, the prices or the farm gate prices had remained static or frozen. The rich countries, of course, address this issue by providing direct income support and a whole lot of other privileges to farming community. But the developing countries or the least developed countries could not afford it, and so I think farmers in these countries have silently suffered the consequences of the frozen income. Then comes a study in 2000. It is by OECD, the Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development, along with a New Delhi think tank called ICRIER. And this study estimated that between the year 2000 and 2016-17, which means the 16 years at a stretch, Indian farmers lost 45 lakh crores. Now, 45 lakh crore is an extraordinary crisis, but I don't think anybody discussed that as even a crisis that hit agriculture or that farmers were living under all these years. And in this study, they worked it out. It was for a handful of crops, so I guess the total extent or the damage or the loss that the farmers had suffered must be quite significant or higher than what we have seen, 45 lakh crores, which means roughly a loss of about 2.64 lakh crore every year. Now, this was because farmers were denied their rightful income. Farmers got 15% less, and the beneficiaries were the consumers, who also gained by 25% as far as the consumer prices were concerned. Now, if you look at another report by the Economic Survey in 2016, the survey tells us that the average income of a farming family in 17 states of India, which means half the country, is only 20,000 rupees a year. Now, 20,000 rupees a year means less than 1,700 rupees a month. Now, I can't even rear a cow in 1,700 rupees a month. I wonder, and I shudder to think how the farming community has been surviving in less than 1,700 rupees a month in half the country. So it tells us that agriculture has been passing through a terrible crisis all these decades. And now at this particular juncture, in the dead of the winters, if the farmers have assembled at the borders of New Delhi, I think it tells us that they probably feel that enough is enough. The academia, the elite, the economists, they all failed to help farmers to get their rightful dues. So I think farmers have now taken it on themselves that they have to take it, or they have to ensure that they do not suffer the consequences any further, and they do get a kind of assured income. I think that is what they are fighting for at this particular juncture. With these farm laws coming in, they fear that whatever they could survive with is also going to be snatched away. So that is what has pushed them into this kind of a protest, which it's an iconic protest. It's an iconic movement, the kind of which at least I have not seen or followed anywhere in the world earlier.